Hey guys, Avros here, back with the Final Fantasy XII game challenge. This time we're going to be playing through Final Fantasy V. Plan for this game is to give you guys a bit of an abridged version of the story as we go through some of the cutscenes here. So, going to go ahead and kick us off with the introductory cutscene. Sped it up a bit to make this a bit less boring. So, here we've got Lena talk to her father, the King of Tycoon. He's going off to do something important, which he doesn't want her to follow for, because he needs to go and find out what's going on with the wind and go to the wind shrine to see what's going on with the crystal. And Lena's noticed this as well, but she's worried about what might happen to the King of Tycoon when he goes. But he's not too worried. He's going to hop on this dragon and fly off to see what's going on at the wind shrine. Gives her a nod on the way out, and we cut to our next character. So, pirate ship, and we pan down to see the captain, whose hair is blowing in the wind, and stops, and the wind is just entirely dead now, which doesn't bode well for the king. An old man here in his cave, not entirely sure what's going on with him just yet. And back to King Tycoon's castle, and Lena also has noticed the wind stopped. And back over to what's going on with King Tycoon. Here he is in the wind shrine, and he's a bit concerned about what's going on with the crystal when it shatters. Clearly not a good thing to have happen. And our yet unnamed protagonist here and his chocobo are enjoying a lovely time in the forest and sitting around a campfire when a rumbling noise and some sort of meteor flying down out of the sky flies overhead, and they decide to put out their campfire and go and check it out. So here they go off to check out what's going on with the meteor, and Chocobo named Boko, a bit dangerous for him to come along, so he gets left behind, and cut out a bit of menuing there to make this a bit more streamlined. And our yet unnamed protagonist sees a girl being kidnapped by a couple of enemies and decides to step in and intervene. And so you can see these are goblins here. First bit of combat in the game, incredibly straightforward, just attack the goblins to win, not really too much going on with the combat system just yet. And a little bit of XP and gold there. And rescues the girl and finds out that it's Lena and she's all doing okay at the moment. And wants to know what our yet unnamed protagonist is called, so default name here is Bartz. But we're going to go ahead and call him Avros for this playthrough, so just go ahead and change the name here. And he introduced himself as Avros. Him and his chocobo just go wherever the trail happens to lead them at the moment. So he's erstwhile adventurer when this meteorite's just fallen out of the sky, and Lena wonders if it has anything to do with the wind stopping, which is an interesting theory. But she has to go, and Avros tries to get her to stop when they hear a weird noise and someone asking for help, so they decide to go and investigate and find out what's going on. Avros figures out where it's coming from, and they go over, and isn't it the old man from the intro? Sure is. So here's the old man as well. Characters all meeting up, and it seems he's got amnesia and can't remember a damn thing. So it's a bit weird here. We need to work out what the hell's going on. And remembers his name, and it's Galuf, so we don't have to keep calling him old man, so that's convenient. That he remembers his name first out of everything that he remembers. And Lena doesn't have any time to waste, so she must go to the wind shrine, which triggers something in Galuf's memory. He remembers that he needs to go there as well, so he volunteers to go along with Lena. And as he says, can't let a sweet girl go on her lonesome, so they decide to go off together and find out what's going on with the wind shrine. And ask Avros if he wants to come, and he's not interested, so I guess the game's over from here. I mean, they're going to check out what's going on with the wind shrine, and Avros isn't going anywhere, and as I said before, he's a protagonist of this game, for the most part, so I guess the game's over. So they both leave, and Avros decides to carry on with his adventures. Boko's not too impressed with what he's done, so throws him off into a wall. And has a nice conversation with Boko there. He speaks in Quest, which I don't understand how he works out a word he's saying. And he decides that he better go and find out what's going on with Lena and Galuf, because there's goblins in the area, and he hears them up ahead, and there's an earthquake, so Chocobo's being faster than people, decides to go and find out what's going on, when he's assaulted by a couple more goblins. Again, combat at this point is incredibly straightforward. Just attack the enemies until they die. So, kill a few more goblins here. And Bocco's pretty quick, can jump over these ravines as they pop up. More goblins. Avros can take a bit of a beating here, so it's not a big deal. And continues on and finds Lena and Galuf passed out, drag them onto the Chocobo, jump another ravine, and we're on to the next cutscene. So Bocco's watching over them while Avros is watching out for any enemies coming, and he hears Lena wake up and must have amazing knees to make a jump like that. So Lena's surprised to see him and says she can't escape being in his debt. He's rescued her twice now from goblins. So Avros decides that because the meteorites made some landslides and stuff, they're not going to make it to Toul, which we'll see soon, going along the road. So they need to find a different way to get there. And Galuf's doing okay. He also has to hurry to the Wind Shrine, so there must be something really important going on over there. So Avros here decides, well, you guys keep getting assaulted by goblins. I should probably come along and help out to make sure everyone gets there safe. And it was his dad's dying wish. He goes out and travels the world, and feels like the wind is calling him. And Galuf calls him out on it and says, well, obviously he's just got the hots for Lena, so you know that's why he's volunteering to go along. Galuf laughs at his own joke, thinks it's very funny there. And yeah, road's blocked. There's not really much they can do, other than, as they're about to explain here, press onward. I mean, that's the only option they've got at this point, so they decide there must be a way to reach the Wind Shrine. I mean, it's a video game after all, the game would be over if there wasn't, so they all decide to team up, and Bocco's on board as well, so away we go to the next section of the game. A bit of a jump cut here, but here's a cave that they find, and there's a pirate here. And the pirate's watching out for anyone watching him, so good thing they're hiding. And push this little button. And hey, there's a secret entrance in this cave, so guess they better find out what this is all about. And Avros saying, yep, obviously that's how to get in. So inside the cave, they see like a bit of a hole out into the ocean, and there's a boat sailing. That's really weird, because as Avros also thinks here, like, how is it sailing when the wind is basically stopped entirely? And they're all a bit confused, so I'll press on. And there's a pirate flags. It's a bit concerning. They hide from the pirate and realize they must have stumbled upon a pirate hideout in this random cave out in the middle of nowhere. So I'm not entirely sure what to do. And clearly figure out the ship they must have seen was a pirate ship. And Lena, being naive, wonders if they'll give them a ride. And yeah, Avros, being a bit more pragmatic, says that's not a good idea. And Galuf has a death wish and decides that he wants to steal the pirate ship. I mean, it's not a bad idea. We need a ship to get elsewhere because we're stuck here, so away we go to steal the pirate ship. Maybe signing our own death warrant here, so let's see what goes on. Yo-ho-ho and stuff. And ship isn't going anywhere. So we're a bit trapped, I think. Yeah, only one way on or off, and there's the captain. And the rest of the crew. So Captain Faris here, being a named character, is a bit interesting. And Lena says she's the Princess of Tycoon, and asks for assistance, which we knew, but Avros and Galuf didn't, so formal request from the Tycoon to go to the Wind Shrine, and Faris has a good laugh at that. Because, I mean, yeah, it's a good degenerate, lecherous, piratey pirate, as Avros says that. But, I mean, obviously they could ransom her off for a lot more money, and something seems to gleam on Lena's chest there. It turns out it's a pendant, which throws Faris off a bit, so decides to throw them all in the brig for the time being until she can work out what the hell to do. So our character's getting dragged away here into the brig. Below decks. They are all tied up, locked away. Pirate on guard. And Galuf forgets whose idea it was to steal a pirate ship. Avros is not afraid to remind him. And, yeah. Amnesia. What a convenient excuse. And, still shocked that Lena's the Princess of Tycoon, and, she said didn't mean to keep it a secret. Avros doesn't mind, but, Princess going alone to the Windshrine's a bit weird, but Lena admits she's going there to find out what's going on with her dad, so needs to work out what's going on there. And, that's it for these three. So let's see what's going on elsewhere on the bottom of the ship as we, pan the camera over to the right here. And oh, there's Captain Faris. What's going on here? So, wondering why the Princess Tycoon has the same pendant he does, and it's a little confused because yeah, it's the same pendant. It's her father's at the Windshrine, and he's a bit conflicted about what to do with the party so far. So. And the next morning, they go into the Windshrine. Crew understandably confused. Prisoners are brought up on top of deck. And Faris says to untie them, which is a bit weird. And the crew's not sure what to take of this. But hey, better for us all over. And Faris reconsidered. Away we go to the Windshrine. Crew's a bit taken aback, doesn't snap to orders straight away. But hey, they're a loyal crew, so away we go, getting ready to sail to the Windshrine. Getting up in the pirate's nest. And a party is going to be very confused here, because they're going to ask the question, how can they move without the wind? So, Faris decides to introduce them to his friend Sildra. And, here's Sildra coming up. Sildra's a sea dragon. So, I guess if you have a dragon pulling your ship, it doesn't really matter about what's going on with the wind. Faris is raised together with Sildra as siblings, which is a bit weird, but we're not going to judge that. And alright, off we go sailing, but we're not going to go straight to the Windshrine. We're going to make a quick detour to Tool here, get some more equipment, and as we arrive in Tool, pirates are very enthusiastically going to head off to the pub to get some grog. And there they all go. One straggler. And Faris says she's gonna go and join them and have a drink, so we're back down to just 3 members of the party for the moment. But there's the one other thing in Tool that's interesting, and it says it's a piano, so yeah, what's the deal with this? Okay, can't really play the piano. Oh, piano skills leveled up. Well, we'll keep track of that as we go through, but here we are at the Windshrine now. Let's go in and see what's going on here. So, going into the Windshrine, there's a bunch of scholars down here seem to be very worried about what's happening, and someone recognizes the princess, so she asks what's going on, and the Windshrine is full of monsters now, and the wind is completely stopped. So Lena's worried about her dad, and is told the king went up to the top floor and has not yet returned, so they're worried something must have happened to him. And Faris interjects and says, well, may as well go up and take a look and see what's going on up there. So our party decides, why not? Let's go and see what's going on at the top of the Windshrine. So cutting now after this to the top of the Windshrine. There's some sort of weird bird here, so just going through our party real quick. So they're all freelancer jobs at the moment, which we'll come back to in a bit. Got some broadswords and leather gear on Avros. Lena, still freelancer as well. She's got a dagger and some leather gear. Galuf, I think he's got the broadsword and some leather gear as well. And Faris, last but not least, also broadsword and leather gear there. So now that we've had a look at our party, let's go ahead and see what's going on with this bird right at the top of the Wind Shrine. And oh, it's coming straight for us. So here's the first boss. It's the Wing Raptor. I'll put the bestiary in here just to have a look at it. So 250 HP, 25 MP. You can steal a potion from it. I don't know how, seeing as you don't have any access to the steal command at this point. But drops a Phoenix down, always handy. Item for reviving fallen party members when they hit 0 HP. So we've had a look at the bestiary. Let's just jump into the first boss fight. And not much to go on in boss fights at this point. We don't really have any of the more interesting parts of the game yet, so it's just a matter of attacking, and when you take a bit of damage, like Breathwing there does AoE to the whole party, making sure we keep the party healed up, but everyone being level 5 at this point, it's not too hard for us to just circle through some attacks and take out the Wing Raptor, and that's the first boss fight down, and dropped us a lovely Phoenix down there. So jumping ahead to the top floor here, so we go into where the Wind Crystal is, and the party notices that the crystal has shattered, same as we saw earlier with the King of Tycoon, and it's a bit of an odd glow happening, and the party's a bit taken aback by this, and hang on, where's that? There's an attack crystal here, and seems to be sending out some energy, which flies into Faris and encourage the essence of flame. So maybe that was a fire crystal. Different location here, not entirely sure where this is just yet. And another intact crystal with some energy that's being sent out. And this one goes into Lena. She gets devotion, the essence of water. So it looks like the crystals here, the 4 major elements, are giving powers to the party here for their upcoming journey. And yellow hued crystal, probably the power of Earth, seeing as we know this is the Wind Shrine, and that goes into Galuf, and Hope, the essence of Earth, and oh, even though the crystal's shattered, it still manages to get its energy and give it to Avaros, and he gets Passion, the essence of Wind. So when he said earlier the wind was calling him, he was probably being legitimate, because, I mean, that was the thing that gave him his energy there, and now they've got the essences of the 4 crystals, and it's their job to push ahead, and oh, here's the King of Tycoon. I guess we're going to find out what happened to him, and they're shocked to see him. And turns out that we're the Warriors of Light bearing the 4 crystal essences. And King Tycoon's going to give us our quest here. 1 crystal's already shattered, the other 3 are in danger, so we need to go and protect them and stop them from shattering too. Evil Presence is going to be trying to fight back against us, and okay. Bye, King Tycoon? Well, guess it's our job to save the crystals now. And Lena's obviously distraught to see her father fly off into the sky like that. And these crystal shards coming towards the party. I mean, it's a little ominous the first time you see it, but it restores the powers of legend. So here's our first 6 classes: the Knight, Monk, Blue Mage, Thief, Black Mage, and White Mage, which we'll discuss further soon enough. So probably in the next episode, I'll give you a breakdown on the job system and how all of the jobs themselves we have for now work. We'll get more later as we go through the game. It's the unique part of Final Fantasy V is the job system and how it all interacts and plays with it, other elements of the different jobs and how you can build stuff together. This game can be very easily broken based on how some of the classes work, so we'll go through some more of that in the next episode. But for now, we go to the warp panel to get out of the Wind Shrine, and teleport it out, and yeah, this helpful little chocobo here is going to ask us if we need to know about the job system for this game, but on that note, we'll leave it for now, and I'll explain the job system and everything in the next episode. So, thank you all for watching, and we'll come back later for the next one.